Yeah, it's gonna be kind of a short one. It's whatever's going on, the timeline shift that's happening. Of course, that's always happening, but yeah, the alien one I uploaded yesterday. The reptilians that are watching, yeah, it's here and there where they're doing that. I mean, obviously, all the alien beings are monitoring us at some level. But the reptilians are definitely in certain areas of the beach. It depends. Watching us because we can't watch ourselves. Well, I mean, I think they'll pull back, but you have to make sure that we're you know functioning to aware of ourselves and all that, and connected to the universe. Oh, fuck this. Society's fucked here. Well, some people will be connected to the universe and aware of themselves. The rest of the world just be blah. Good luck with that. Yeah, they'll just go someplace else, or stick with this world that's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. It is kind of fading out to some level, not fully though, but which I think a lot of people are probably just like, thank goodness, I don't have to incarnate here anymore. That's okay. You can always find another psychotic planet to go to, and then they'll say they're the only game in town, and this is the hardest world ever, and say all that kind of stuff, and whatever. Talk about Mars all day long. And in the alien video, I do mention Mars because Mars does have a role, but obviously in some of the secret space program communities, that's all they focus on. Not focusing on themselves, focusing on how much they've been tortured all day long. And it's almost like a gratification of that. It's like, well, I've been tortured longer than you, and what is that shit? Well, there might be some truth to it. Does it matter? Probably not. It's actually just slow down growth, but what do I know? Yeah. Judging by my numbers, yeah. I'm trying to. Well, at least I'm allowed to say something. Not that most care. Not that anybody really gives a shit, but yeah. So of it's spiritual entertainment. It's also going to go into, let's start this. Fritzy's here. Hello there, Fritzy. How's world domination? Where'd it go? Oh. That's Avatar.com. Price sessions. Schedule. Shop here. Maybe. I was trying to get something. Anyway. Yeah, frequencies are shifting. Timelines are. I mean, there's always a shift, but some shifts are more intense than others. It has to do also with our actions too. If you're just sitting around doing nothing, yeah, you have to do something. Do a lot of something and fail a lot. Can't need to move. Here, let me see this. Killer cat. Sorry, Majesty. Her Highness. She's not like that, but She rules the roost, though. I can't show her in the camera. That's the best I can do there. If I show her in the camera, she'll kill me. So, oh yeah. So obviously there's some of the spiritual community have sold their souls out. They have a large following. How it depends, right? Or they all sold themselves out. Some of but I can give an example of what it looks like, the archetype of it, like what's behind it. I'll use a movie for example, because they use movies to. It just comes to mind. I don't know. Just of course, some of these little scumbags use movies as examples all the time. So a good one is Demolition Man, and there's a manipulator in that. And I kind of go into, and that's in the spiritual community because it's spiritual and it's a manipulator. And we have it here in the modern world. Obviously, people are not seeing it. Obviously not. I just have to. I forget the name of that character though. The bad guy. Bad guy. I don't know what he's called. There you go. There you go. Actually, that worked. So it kind of showed the archetype of it. Of course, you see that already, the televangelists and all of that, but this is in the spiritual community. This is in the love and light and manipulation all over. But always give some kind of a face to some of it, to some level. Of course, they have to come off as friendly and whatever the hell that is. So, what is, I don't know what the name of this guy is, but it's this guy. At least in the movie, I'm not sure what he's called. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what his name is. Anyway, it's the guy in the white. This guy. I don't know if you can. No. But so you have like this type of architect. At least that's when I think about like what's behind it. Of course, this is maybe not the best example, but either way. But then you have like the this is like the archetype of like kindness. They have a lot of followers. Even some spiritualists are like this, actually, in some ways. But then, of course, there's a whole other side to them behind the scenes. But they have to have different versions of this, too. It has to be let me call it a more relatable version. Like wearing a t-shirt, just like a surfer. Maybe not like that. Casual. Not like that. Kind of like a casual person. Maybe they get high and all that. But they have this archetype behind them. Still a manipulator, but they can't all look like that, so they take different forms. Like that, they get high or whatever it is. Hey, we're just like you, we're in the band, and so on. So they take a different form to be more relatable. And we already have people that are all screwed up and going through pretty bad childhood. This is like Scientology they get pulled into. It doesn't not called Scientology, it has different names for it, so anyway. The Jagged edge. So yeah, the more they come off as your everyday person, there is the watch that knife into people. Yeah, but like Scientology came off as very friendly and everything until now it's all over the internet now. There's more to it than that, but why is there a spiritual group? Someone's saying anything about them? They're all doing just fine. They're relatable for now. Yeah, I wonder when the truth comes out. Well, I'm not gonna go into all the details of that. It's not my job. But Fritzy's still here. She's needed. Usually she's sleeping. Yes. Sorry for touching it. So yeah, the Archon grid, yeah, obviously it takes souls that, well, yeah, also those that don't have anything to do with themselves or want to be known for something or they're, yeah, trapped in hell. And I guess this helps them get out of hell, I guess, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know, it's different way. We'll never really know the full story of it. Or they just created these beings just to play with society until society can figure itself. This world's going to, even if this world fades out, this manipulation is going to continue somewhere else. It's not done. I mean, people have not learned their lessons here, so they'll just go someplace else once whatever this is. Well, when they can't do what they're doing here, they'll just go somewhere else and do it. Right now, it's still alive, as you can see, for now. Unless something happens this year, but who knows? Everything's so subtle. I don't know, everything's so slow, but yeah, the Archon being, yeah, I think like an Archon, I mean, you can take it to like a whole, like Archon beings creating like cloned, like, they take an archetype, like the surfer person, and they build it in their machine, you know. I know it sounds kind of out there, but maybe not. You know, it's like, I don't know if they made a movie of that yet. Probably not. You never know. People aren't going to believe it anyway. You know, they take the cool person, they clone it or whatever it is, and then they put in all that programming, you know, and just come off as, you know, like there's some New Age churches or Baptist churches or all that have similarities within the spiritual community. Let's put it that way. Playing the music, trying to be look as, and some of those are pretty innocent too, but the spiritual community is not so innocent. I'm not sure if they're aware of what they're doing. Some are that are doing this, but anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, something out of sci-fi. Of course, society has to become more aware. Most are not interested, and it's hard. This is not as easy as it sounds. Evolving. Obviously, I get a lot of pushback. I mean, I'm just a target anyway. It's here to poke holes in you and everything. Jeez. Yeah, my numbers are probably as worse or as bad as when I started. You think they were like be a lot better by now? Nope. Nope. We're just here in our little dungeon here, corner of the unknown. So yeah, shows the adolescence that's out there. So anyway, get to the Archon being. Yeah, obviously the Archon energy here, and even reptilians have been programmed here. They're just basically trying to get people to, you know, those that are evolving to give up. You know, they want you to surrender. And the only way you know, you just got to keep going forward no matter how terrible life is, how horrible everything is, how much you get attacked. You just got to keep going to the next day. That's all you got. That's all you got, even if it's not that great, if it's just junk. I guess it all comes back in the wall. Like, not that you're getting revenge, but you can't win. Just it's not easy to get there. It's like going through like a jungle of traps and everything. but it's on a soul level. They're just basically trying to get you to give up, and it's nasty. And they throw all the wrong people at you too, to tear you down too. Personally, you know, just to get you to, say this isn't worth it. While the scumbags, the junk continues to thrive. Of course, around them is all slithering nonsense and hollowness and just fakery. So it's not that great. I mean, on the outside, it might look like it's better, but really it's just garbage on the inside. Yeah, surfer energy is all great on the outside, rock star. It's all just, shit on the inside. Just a bunch of shit. But they don't put that out there, obviously. They package it well. Like I say, look like the common man. I mean, all of this is about, you can have your world back, but society has to want it back. That's why they test us. They'll put us through like every rigorous test to destroy you. And if you make it through that, you do pass eventually. How that looks is another story. You just can't give up, as shitty as everything is. At least one might pass out of 1 billion. Because the rest are just they're not strong enough. They'll just continue to be programmed and whatever it might be. But as long as they don't give up either, they'll get through this at some point, whatever world they end up on. So, it's easier said than done though. But yeah, once, say like our world somehow, people just put their heads, they're at the soul level where they can take the world back. Obviously, the Archon beings and reptilians will test us to see if we're actually there. But you become more aware of the aliens and all that, and just be able to handle it internally, like within yourself. Not just here's the aliens and have a nice day. You have to be like internally strong to handle it. Obviously, may feel that they are, but if they're following the surfer guys, they're not. But you could tell yourself that all day long, though. I mean, maybe I'm strong to some level, but yeah, there's such a hold on this planet. It's just there to make you go insane. It's done by design. Well, it just shows the power of the people here is powerful, but obviously it's man giving up and giving in, and those that can't evolve and choose not to, for whatever reason, is they're just their ego or whatever, and they're not doing anything with their lives either. From what I've seen, in some cases, that can cause cancer and other health problems because you're not doing anything with yourself. It's kind of like you're driving with the brake on, and you're not really exploring. You're not taking a chance. You're living life simply, and doing that, it's like instead of just like like if you're swimming or you go to it doesn't mean you have to go to the highest diving board, but at least do some kind of dive somewhere. Do something if you're capable. If you're capable of doing the high dive, go right ahead. There's also, you don't always have to do the high dive. You can always do the middle dive or whatever, the kiddie dive, whatever. As long as you're diving or doing something, you're putting your toe in the water or something. Doesn't mean you have to go around to the beach. You all kinds of shit out there. But either way, it's just, as long as you're doing something, when you have the opportunity to do something, you gotta take a chance every now and then. Of course, you can take all these chances and fail like a motherfucker. Yeah, there's that too. That gets old after a while. Yeah, I can see why people don't want to do any chance. I just keep getting fucked over. And that's understood. You need a break from being screwed over all the time. But they'll give you other energies too. Like they'll give you other indications. Like just give this, like your longevity, even maybe a year or two of just opportunity still there. So, and you keep turning that down. You're too scared and all that. Yeah, then the soul can really fumble and just crawl into nothingness. It's like, yeah, I'm happy. Okay, whatever. I'm glad you are. Of watching your life be half of what it could be, or maybe a quarter, or just not anything. So, but for the most part, many are just doing what they can to survive. You can say there's nothing wrong with that. Just do what's in your energy field. Just you know, just you know, if you feel like you're doing everything you need to do, then that's all you need to do. But there are others that can do more, and then choose not to, and then 10 years from now, it's like, damn. Yeah, just a life of regret. Not that you won't have regrets anyway, but anyway. And there's Fritzy. Okay. We're going to the Archon energies, just for some reason. Yeah, there's a lot in dark, obviously. Well, even with the bad Archon beings, or any bad being out there that just is selfish, you get to a certain level, they stop trying to kill you, basically. At some point, maybe. I guess you always should have regard of anyway, but well, meaning that you get to a level where it's neutral instead. I mean, obviously they want to just slice you and just chop you up in little pieces. But there is probably at some point a period where you can make peace with them, even if you don't have to hang out with them or anything. But at least you pass you pass their tests and you can keep moving on. Or they I don't know if they ever give up. They're just kind of designed not, they're designed just to destroy everybody, basically. So, anyway. Well, either way, you can still, like some of this political stuff, you can still, they have a neutral diplomatic connection. Basically, anyway, I think it's we'll just, anyway, connect to the Archon energies and see if they have anything to add to anything. So, great blessings. Greetings to the Archons. Yes, we come here to test your world, and we saw vulnerabilities within your society and exploited them. And yes, your society fell some time ago, but it keeps falling. You see, cities fall all the time. Rome fell. Rome became obsessed with itself, narcissistic. Did not care about its people at all. And how can that sustain itself forever? Yes, it's taken over spirituality. That's almost worse. Basically, put the fear of man. Without going to all, even that is still fragile territory to speak about. It is a religious war on your world, as you can see. And many are still, will continue this war. Some will be eternity. It doesn't mean you have to be involved with it. Some need to be battling themselves forever. It doesn't mean you have to be one of them. So basically your world had a lot of exploits and were exploited and taken over. And it's hard to, once a whole society goes down, it's hard for it to resurrect itself. Some of you will find your way out, while others won't. And where is this world going? Yes, there is artificial intelligence. It's basically, in some ways, taking over the mundaneness of operations, the workload. You've already seen that with manufacturing. That will continue to evolve into more machinery doing it. It's more intelligent machinery, just enough. Yes, it won't be perfect. And so many do not have to incarnate here anymore. Basically, you can say this world kind of ran its course. It still has purpose. It's just changing its purpose. And those that need to go through this type of incarnation have already found their world. They already found their mirror world that's very similar to this one. And they are transitioning towards that. And others want to see where this one goes. Even if they're not really spiritually there to evolve yet. Well, now spiritual growth it's like, you have to kind of, have experience. Some that are in the fifth grade spirituality want to be in college right now, and in mental state they might feel like they're grown up, but in reality they're still young. They still lack a lot of experience. And they any like a kid growing up, it's like, wow, I can't wait to be an adult one day and do all these things. And yes, you grow up and just become an auto mechanic or work at the post office. It's not having that glamorous life as you thought it would be. It's similar to spirituality based on growth, but you doesn't mean you cannot evolve. But it's not as easy as it sounds. And not everyone's meant to evolve to some. Many that incarnate here are here for a certain experience, and that doesn't mean to. Yes, you are aware of the aliens, but also a lot are on an internal experience to figure themselves out. But many are going external, waiting for the aliens to show up, or they're externally going everywhere, but knowing who they are, and not necessarily you have to go with them, but basically know, yes, who you are. And even there, it doesn't have to be 100% clear. But at least you're trying to, instead of grabbing information from everyone else, you're slowly figuring out your own point of view and what's your story here and so on. And it's not as easy as it sounds either, because there's no way to prove a lot of these things. Like, what does your reality look like? And yes, some villains here have a little bit more of an edge of knowledge, but of course also they want to devour your soul. It's like, wow, I'm getting all this good information from the bad guy. Well, because they want to feel like they're stronger than everyone. I have all the knowledge and so on, when they actually don't. But they have just enough to get you in the door. Yeah, and then to grab you, basically. Grab your energy field. So it's like salesmanship, you could say. But what they're selling is nothing, it's hollow. Almost like similar to like a telemarketer. When you say you won $1 million and you didn't win anything, they have to do things, they have to put some flash out there to get attention, to get you to walk into their energy field. So, and a lot of times the truthful frequency out there is not as exciting, it's boring, and others have a more exciting view and all that. So, yes, the good energy, the good guys, yes, they don't have to have flash. They don't have to sell anything. So they might look as dull and pathetic. Or more. That's. But who cares? They're more fit with themselves than most others are. The manipulators here have to put on the flash, put on a show constantly. Even if they're not selling anything. Well, they're selling an idea that's false, a delusion. But that's what you're here to. Yeah, not necessarily connect to your own dullness, but connect to your own reality that might not be as exciting as what you're being seen on a spectacle level. And that's quite, as long as you're at peace with yourself, it can be, there are some exciting moments, yes, but as many it's not, it has to be the most exciting, it doesn't. Sometimes dullness is a good thing, because it's grounding. It is not always a fantastic fireworks all the time. You don't have to always impress somebody. This is why some people go bankrupt, because they're always trying to impress everyone. And everyone but themselves. So there's a lot of spectacle out there, as you can see. Hollywood has a lot of it. Yes, they have the nice shiny houses and the bills that come with it. They perhaps to put on a persona of success, when your poor man can be successful with just the simple things in life. Yes, and manifest what is necessary. It doesn't have to be poor, but not as flashy. Sometimes the less flash, the better. So, what's this?